começando a última live daqui do projeto JTF contra o coronavírus. E hoje a gente vai ter o Caleb Hudson, super virtuoso trompete do Canadian Brass, é professor da North Texas University. E para quem não sabe, ele obteve o bacharel dele e o mestrado pela Juilliard School. Então é um cara aí que está nos principais trompetistas do mundo, né, no momento. So, Caleb, I want to thank you for your time, to spend time with us.
Oh, it's my
and we have some questions for you. And the first question is, what's your equipment? What do you play? What mouthpiece? What your horns? I know you are a Bach artist, right?
We had a relationship with Con Sommer
for okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I play a Bach B flat trumpet. I can just show you everything. No,
yeah, please.
Okay, this is what's on my trumpet stand now. So it's just a Bach Stradivarius 37 bell and medium large lead pipe, and no modifications at all, except I had the valves done by Bob Reeves, the alignment, and I love what Bob Reeves does. But yeah, everything is stock and off the shelf. It's nothing customized. And the mouthpiece, so we played in Japan. We had a tour in Japan in February, late January and early February. Do you want me to stop, Bruno, so you can translate, or do you want me to just keep going?
No, keep going about the mouthpiece.
Oh, okay. Anyway, we Brandon Reidenauer knows Adam Rappa pretty well, and
yeah.
Adam gave him a couple of mouthpieces for me to try because I was curious about them. So I got off the plane in Japan, and the next day we had a concert in the afternoon, and I decided I wouldn't recommend this, but I decided to try a new mouthpiece, and it was this one. It's the Lotus 2L N plus. So the N stands for nickel, and nickel silver, and the plus. You can read about that on the website, but it's a different kind of intonation profile. So
yeah,
I found that the. Have you tried this mouthpiece, Bruno, or the Lotus?
Yes, yeah. Actually, I brought some to Brazil. I'm the GR and Pickett Brass and Warburton dealer in Brazil, and I was at ITG last year, and Adam gave me some to bring to Brazil, and so we have some here.
We're kind of in the golden age of brass equipment, and especially there's so many mouthpiece makers, and they're doing a great job.
Yeah.
So I love. When I was younger, I didn't really experiment much until late in college, is when I tried. But this is the Lotus 2L, and I find that it's a very balanced mouthpiece. I tried it for a concert in Japan, and I just played on it for the entire tour. So I'm still trying it out. So, but
I think the 2L is like 1.5 C, right?
Yeah, I think so. It's about
yeah. Okay. Let me translate this. Eu perguntei para ele sobre os equipamentos, né, bocal, trompete, o que ele usa. O Canadian Brass tem uma relação com a Conselver, então ele usa alguns instrumentos da Bach. Ele usa um trompete si bemol Bach 37, sem modificações, nenhuma mudança. A única mudança é que ele teve o Bob Reeves para fazer o alinhamento de pistos. E no ano passado ele estava no Japão e ele encontrou com o Adam Rappa. E o Adam Rappa deu uns vocais para ele e para o Brandon Reidenauer, que é o outro trompetista do Canadian Brass. E desde então ele está testando um vocal Lotus. O modelo é 2L Plus em níquel. É mais ou menos 1,5 C. Essa é a configuração que ele está usando. What's the trumpet and Piccolo do you use?
Oh yeah, right now I have a Yamaha Chicago first generation C trumpet that honestly I don't play very often because most of our repertoire is for B flat trumpet.
Okay.
But yeah, I like that C trumpet. And piccolos, I have a few a few piccolos. So this is what I. This is just a Schilke P54 that I play in Canadian brass, and this is what I always play in the ensemble. Just because, well, I like the instrument a lot, and I feel that sometimes we have to play Penny Lane at the end of a concert, and it's just it kind of requires a lot of flexibility and consistency and delicate playing, and this instrument I think helps me to do that night after night. To me, it has a nice sound. It's not my ideal sound for piccolo trumpet, but it's very good, I think. And sometimes, actually, we've had to do this many times, 2 concerts in one day, and that gets very tiring. So when you're choosing equipment, a lot of the factors that you are thinking about have to do with efficiency and balance and just performing at your best level all the time, and what tool will help you to do that as close to what you're hearing in your head as possible. So that's the Schilke P54.
Okay. And what mouthpiece? What size?
There, this is a Schilke 11AX.
Okay.
Which is 11AX, yeah.
I think it's close to a 7 bar size, right? Ring size.
Yeah, I think it's a little smaller actually.
I don't. Yeah.
I think I change mouthpieces a lot on Piccolo depending on what I need to play, but that's my Brandenburg mouthpiece.
Ok, let me translate this. Para o trompete em dó, ele não usa muito o trompete em dó, porque no Canadian Brass eles usam mais trompete si bemol. Mas ele tem um trompete em dó Yamaha Chicago, modelo, primeira geração. E o Piccolo ele usa um Piccolo Schilke, um P5. E um bocal é um bocal Schilke 11. Eu não sei exatamente qual que é o diâmetro. Deve ser em torno de um 7, 8 diâmetro, talvez menor. Preciso pesquisar. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with everything you said. And if you want to know about this, you guys probably recognize this. This is what Matthias Hofs plays. I think this is a Tyne piccolo trumpet, and this model, I love this instrument so much. This model comes in B flat and A, and also G, and I can show you. So I have it in 3 keys, and you just change the lead pipe. So this lead pipe that is on the instrument now is in B flat and A, and you just change the lead pipe section. And here's the G lead pipe section. So this just you replace the lead pipe like that.
Okay.
And there's some slides as well. So it's a very versatile.
And what kind of a repertoire do you use the Piccolo in G?
In G, well, there's quite a bit. I haven't used it in performance very much, to be honest, but it's nice to know that I have it. For example, Bach cantata repertoire sometimes, cantata 50,
okay.
Possibly, and yeah, so it's nice. And this piccolo, I think, has a very unique sound. If you look at the bell flare, you can see the difference.
Yeah.
The diameter is about the same, but how gradual it flares is different. So,
yeah, it's bigger.
Yeah, and this is a trumpet shank versus cornet shank. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Versus this sound. So it's just, I'm not sure if you can hear over the microphone, but it just has a little more warmth to the sound.
Yeah. Let's translate this. Ele também tem um Piccolo Time, que é o mesmo modelo que o Matthias Rolfs usa. É um Piccolo em Si bemol, Lá e Sol. Então, dependendo do que ele vai tocar, você consegue fazer essa mudança. O que ele mostrou é que o Piccolo Chill, que ele tem a campana, essa parte da campana, um pouco menor, e o Time ele é um pouquinho maior. O que ele sente é que no Piccolo Time ele dá um pouco mais de harmônico, fica um som um pouco mais cheio. Foi isso que ele demonstrou agora há pouco. Ok. I have another question.
Yeah.
Now it's about Canadian brass.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
People asked, how did you join the Canadian brass? Did you have to do audition or do something different, or they just called you to play there?
Yeah, good question. So yes, it was an audition, and so I went to Juilliard with Chris Coletti, and he was 4 years. He is 4 years than me. He was in the master's program, and Brandon Reidenauer was also at Juilliard at the same time. So the three of us were there together, and so this was in the winter of 2013. Chris called me, and we were friends. And I had graduated 1 year before, and Chris had graduated a few years before and was playing with Canadian Brass. And Chris asked me if I would like to play duets with him at his house in Brooklyn, New York. And I was like, yeah, I'd love to. We were friends, so we didn't see each other that often, but I just thought he wanted to play duets. But it turned out that was actually my audition without me knowing that it was an audition. So I went to his house, and we played duets for about 3 or 4 hours and had a good time and had coffee and just hung out. And then the next day he called me and said that there was a change in the group. Brandon had decided to leave Canadian Brass, and they wanted to know if I would like to audition for the whole group. So I'm like, yeah, of course. That's the dream come true. I grew up listening to Canadian Brass, and they're a big influence on me. And I was super excited about this opportunity.
What's the difference between your age and Chris' age?
Oh, yeah. I think 4 years. Yeah, so
he's older.
Yeah, he's 4 years older. Yeah.
Ok. Eu perguntei para ele como que foi a entrada dele no Canadian Brass. Se ele teve que fazer audição ou se apenas ligaram para ele. Ele falou que ele estava estudando na Juilliard. Estudava ele, o Brandon e o Chris Coletti. E o Chris Coletti é 4 anos mais velho do que ele. Então já o Chris já tocava no Canadian Brass junto com o Brandon. E aí parece que o Brandon ia sair. Mas um dia o Chris ligou para ele, ligou para o Caleb e falou: você não quer vir aqui em casa para a gente tocar alguns duetos? Aí ele foi na casa dele, ficaram tocando duetos durante 2, 3, 4 horas, conversaram, tomaram café. E aí ele descobriu que aquilo era uma audição para o Canadian Brass. Aí o Chris falou para ele que o Brandon estava saindo do Canadian Brass e perguntou se ele queria entrar no Canadian Brass. Ele falou, lógico, como se fosse um sonho se tornando realidade. Do you want to add something? Or we can move on? No, I'm not hearing you.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Okay.
So I met the entire ensemble in New York City on 57th Street by Carnegie Hall, and we played for 3 or 4 hours. Chris sent me a PDF file of all of the music, and it was, if I printed it out, it would be about that thick.
Oh.
I was sight reading much of the audition. And we played together for hours, and then we went to have dinner together to talk about, the group and what my vision was and what their vision was, and then they offered me a trial concert to try me out, And the first trial concert was in near Washington D.C. And after the concert, we went to the radio station Sirius XM radio, and that was another part of the audition, was playing live on the radio, Penny Lane, on Sirius Radio. So that was a little nervous. I was a little nervous for that.
Okay, so the rehearsal was at Carnegie Hall?
It was, yeah, across the street at Steinway Hall.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay, across the street.
Okay. I'm sorry?
The rehearsal was at Carnegie Hall or near Carnegie Hall?
It was near Carnegie. Yeah, across.
Ah, ok. Got it. Ok. E aí, seguindo, ele, depois dessa pequena audição que ele teve com o Chris Collette, ele teve um ensaio com o Carnegie Brass, perto do Carnegie Hall, e ele falou que o Chris mandou para ele as partituras. Ele falou que em tamanho de partitura ser assim, o que ele teve que imprimir. Falou que era um bolo de partituras. Aí fizeram um ensaio lá de 3, 4 horas, e depois eles saíram para jantar, e aí o grupo falou da visão deles sobre o grupo, e ele falou sobre a visão dele, o que ele achava do Carnegie Brass e tal, e eles ofereceram um concerto teste para ele. Ele falou que foi um concerto perto de Washington, D.C., e depois do concerto eles tiveram uma entrevista numa rádio importante, e aí outra parte da audição dele foi tocar o Penny Lane ao vivo na rádio. E, então foi assim que ele entrou no Carnegie Brass. Yeah, that's a great story. Okay, now we can talk about trumpet and practice routine. People want to know how you start your day on trumpets. How is your warm up? What do you practice in your daily routine? If you can practice every day, I know you're busy.
Right. Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah. So I think the most important thing, especially for younger players, but also for everyone, and I try to keep this in mind now, is making sure that you're listening to music so often, because when you're warming up, you should always have a sound and a concept in your ear, so that anything you're doing, whether it's long tones or lip slurs or articulation or high range or low range or soft playing or loud playing, it has to be within a larger musical context. So when you're practicing in the practice room, it's always with intention, and you're trying to always accomplish a musical goal. Yeah, you want to translate that, and then I'll go into the specifics if you want.
No. If you want to add more, so I have a.
Okay. Yeah. You have a good memory.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So for me, that's the most important thing. Within that, everything I do, all of my technique exercises, my warm-up routine, they have very specific goals, and those goals change on a daily basis depending what I'm doing. I like to play a lot of soft exercises in my practice routine, because I feel that if you can really get to play, if you can do it soft with great flow and richness and ring to the sound, then you can basically play anything. So I start with some breathing. It's not very long, just nothing really involved.
I lost you.
Is that better?
Yeah, you're back. You froze for 2 seconds.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Yeah, so a little bit of breathing, a little bit of mouthpiece work, And then I like to do something that's about flow, whether it's chiclets or stamp. I like those two especially, but also Arnold Jacobs is great. And then I like to do some lip flexibilities, starting with simple flexibilities. Simple. Violin are great. Schlossberg is great. And then eventually more advanced lip flexibilities, like from the Colin book, or some of the Vizzuti technical studies, I think are really nice. So after lip flexibilities, I like to do some articulation, um, and then a little bit of piccolo trumpet. Honestly, before a concert, a Canadian brass concert, I play piccolo for maybe 3 or 4 minutes, and that's all, just to make sure that everything is working, and then I go on stage. But
Ok. Eu perguntei para ele como que é a rotina de estudos dele e como ele se inicia o dia no trompete. E aí ele falou que ele faz um pouco de exercício de respiração, que ele gosta de fazer um pouco, só para ele sentir faz um pouco de exercício de respiração e depois ele faz um pouco de buzzing no bocal, mas só um pouco até ele sentir que já tá legal para passar para o trompete. Aí ele começa no trompete, ele faz algumas coisas de flow studies, né, como Ticovitz ou Stamp, e aí ele já passa para alguns exercícios de flexibilidade mais fáceis, que eles chamam de fáceis, como o bailin. What studies, flexibility studies you do? Bailin and
Schlossberg and then the Colin book, Colin.
Oh, yeah, Collins, ok. Ele faz o Bailin, o Max Schlossberg e o Collins. And after that, I need to remind me that.
Yeah, no problem. So after flexibilities, I articulation exercises. So, I mean, whether just either simple scales or scale patterns. A lot of it is by ear. So, just kind of creating my own exercises, which helps in a lot of ways. It helps your ear. It helps your creativity. It helps just to keep interest in your practice session. But yeah, Vizzuti technical articulation exercises. Clark Goldman is great. Brandt exercises, but that's more into etudes. But exercises, yeah, Clark, Vizzuti, Goldman, I think are great.
And then you move to repertoire, right?
Yeah, maybe a little bit of piccolo trumpet, but it depends on if I'm playing a concert or if I'm just home, like now.
Ok.
Yeah.
Então aí ele faz um pouco de flexibilidade, aí ele já muda para articulação, para exercícios como exercício do Vizzuti, como Clark, Goldman. Aí tem alguns estudos aqui, já são estudos como o Brandt. E depois ele pega um pouco de Piccolo, ele faz alguma coisa de Piccolo, mas depende muito do que ele tem que tocar. Por exemplo, agora não tem que tocar nada, então ele não tem nenhum concerto marcado, não tem nenhum recital, nada. Então a rotina dele tá um pouquinho diferente. E uma coisa que ele ressaltou no início é que ele faz os exercícios dele, ele sempre faz tudo muito piano, desde o início. Engraçado que os outros artistas que a gente entrevistou também, a maioria falou que estuda com exercícios piano. Okay, do you want to demonstrate something? Like the soft playing that you do? Because
Yeah,
I think
sure.
I think that's a good point, because the other trumpet players that we had this week, and most of them they said they do soft exercise, and sometimes
Nice.
we see most of the students practicing like loud. So it's
Right.
good to show that
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. So the reason, okay, I don't think it's not enough to just play soft. You have to play soft and try to imitate a voice or a flute or violin or cello or oboe. Oftentimes when I'm playing piccolo trumpet, I'm trying to imitate those instruments, especially violin flute or recorder, and oboe. I think those three instruments, if you can try to imitate those three instruments on piccolo trumpet, your playing will get better. And I feel that when you're playing soft on the B flat trumpet, that is very helpful for piccolo as well. But yeah, so soft playing, you can incorporate it into all aspects of your playing, I think. So when I'm playing Chickowitz, I'm doing it very soft. Sorry, I have to adjust the microphones every time I play.
No problem.
And I'm trying to accomplish as much connection without interrupting the airstream, even at that soft dynamic. And I don't know, it's weird playing with headphones on, but I don't know if you can hear that or not. But some days are better than others. And then when you go to your solo repertoire,
Just a second.
go ahead.
Eu perguntei para ele se ele pode demonstrar como ele faz esse estudo piano. E aí ele falou que não adianta também só tocar piano. Falou que você tem que tentar imitar o canto, ou um violino, ou uma flauta. Você tem que estar conectado com essa ideia. E ele demonstrou o Chickowitz, como ele faz. Ele tenta fazer todas as notas conectadas. Ele falou, lógico que tem dias melhores e dias piores, mas está sempre com essa ideia de fazer da forma mais conectada possível. Yep.
Okay, great. So, and then you can incorporate it into your solo repertoire. Basically, the entire point of trying to improve your technique on the trumpet is so that you have more tools for expression in whatever you're trying to express in performance. So that's why I think it's so important to imitate other artists that you admire and imitate not just their sound, not just their articulation and response, but imitate what gives. In technique will serving something greater than just checking something off the list. So
sorry, you froze again.
I froze again?
Oh, no, yeah, you are back. Yeah, I lost the last part.
Okay, I'm gonna make my video a little less HD, and then hopefully it won't. Okay, hopefully that's better.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just saying, technique should always be in the service of music. That's all. So when you're playing something, you can play anything soft, really. You know, maybe even the loud solos, even excerpts, you can play them very soft to try to get the same qualities in your soft playing. But yeah, I think that dolce quality is really important to work on in your practice room. So let's see if I can set my microphones. So it's weird to play with headphones on, but it's trying to play with as dolce of a quality as possible is, I think, really, really important. So I try to incorporate that into my warm-up as well, and I think
Always in a musical way, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Ok, ok. Basicamente, o que ele falou, o que ele tenta incorporar na rotina de estudos dele, desde a hora que ele começa a aquecer, principalmente nos estudos de influência, é praticar e tentar obter essa qualidade mais apurada, tocar de forma doce. É sempre praticando as coisas, mesmo um exercício de nota longa, um exercício mais simples, mas procurar praticar de uma forma mais musical, sempre buscando um sentido musical nas frases. Da forma como ele tem demonstrado, sempre de uma forma mais lírica, construindo frases, não apenas fazer uma nota solta, uma nota longa, sem sentido. Yeah. Do you want to add something, or we can move on?
Yeah, we can take whatever questions you like. Yeah.
Yeah, we have another question. What's the best part to be a member of the Canadian Brass?
Oh, great question. I think it's the best part of being a member of Canadian Brass. I think it's the audience, and I think for me, it's being able to see the impact that the group has had on especially younger children, and after concerts, getting to meet spark in their eyes, that they just experienced something that had an impact on them. And I remember when I was younger and I went to see concerts. I didn't see Canadian Brass live until I was in college, actually. But when I was younger and saw concerts that really had an impact on me, like Alan Vizzuti, or Wynton Marsalis, and those live concerts were so important to me, and they really stayed with me. So to think that I can play some small part in helping a younger student be inspired or encouraged to pursue music is, I think that's the best part. But also writing music for the ensemble and getting to play arrangements that, Brandon arranges for the group and I arrange for the group and write music, and he writes music too. And seeing that come to life is really, really special as well.
Okay, and okay, I translate this part. O Vagnão perguntou qual que é a melhor parte de ser um membro do Canadian Brass. E ele falou que ele não viu o Canadian Brass ao vivo até quando ele estava na universidade. Foi na universidade que ele viu o Canadian Brass pela primeira vez. Mas antes ele lembra de ter visto alguns concertos que ficaram na memória dele, como o Wynton Marsalis, o Alan Vizzuti. E falou que essa é uma das partes mais importantes do Canadian Brass que ele considera, ele poder tocar em diversos lugares do mundo, diversas salas de concerto, para diversas plateias e ver o olho das pessoas brilhando, depois conversar com as pessoas, impactar as pessoas da melhor forma que eles puderem. Ele falou que essa que é a parte mais legal de ser um membro do Canadian Brass, porque o Canadian Brass proporciona essa possibilidade de poder tocar para diversas pessoas ao redor do mundo. And how many concerts do you guys do per year?
We're doing, well, usually we do about 75 concerts every year. And, right now everything is just crazy, but usually 75. Yeah. And we're in Europe once or twice a year. We're in Japan usually every 2 years. And then Canada and US mostly, but I've never been to South America. I can't wait to go. I think we have potentially in the future we'll be going down, hopefully, but nothing is confirmed yet. But I would love to go. I think the group, right before I joined, the group was in Venezuela, but I've never been to South America.
Ok. Perguntei para ele quantos concertos o Canadian Brass faz por ano. Ele falou que geralmente 75 concertos por ano. Esse ano, obviamente, vai ser menos, né? Porque muita coisa foi cancelada. Mas eles vão para o Japão a cada 2 anos, uma vez por ano, pelo menos para a Europa. A maior parte do tempo é no Canadá e nos Estados Unidos. Ele nunca esteve na América do Sul. Aí ele falou que pode ser que isso aconteça em breve, sim, não tem nada confirmado. Então eles fazem 75 concertos por ano. Agora eu vou perguntar como são os ensaios do Carnegie Brass, quantas vezes eles se encontram, se é uma coisa semanal, mensal, como é que funciona? And how many times the Carnegie Brass have a rehearsal? How often?
Oh, good question. So we are touring so much that most of our rehearsal takes place while we're on the road. So if we have a free day in between concerts, like in Europe, we came to Dresden, Germany, for 2 days before the first concert of the tour, and we made sure that all of the music was prepared and ready to go. And we actually had quite a few new pieces on that tour that we had never played before, and we had to memorize those pieces. So we got together to make sure that we were rehearsing not just the music, but the staging and the interaction between players. And there's a lot to think about in a concert, especially if you're not just sitting in chairs in the same place
Yeah.
all the time. So we have to think about things as specific as where we move the music stand to, because we don't play everything memorized. We play most things memorized, but not everything. Or how we walk from one part of the stage to another, or who is going to introduce this piece or that piece at the microphone, and things like that. But we rehearse a lot on the road, but we'll also meet in different cities to rehearse together, especially for recording. 2 members live in New York. I live in Texas. One member lives in Indiana, and one lives in Toronto. So we'll meet in all of these places to rehearse and to do projects, recordings, videos, and a lot of different things.
So most of the time, the Carnegie Brass doesn't have like a steady rehearsal schedule.
No, we don't
Yeah.
have a standard Wednesday rehearsal schedule.
Yeah.
The group, they used to everyone used to live in the same place in Canada, in Toronto. But for a while now, everyone has lived in different places. That happened before I joined the group. But so that's why it's even more important that we're all prepared with the music, and that we are still in contact on the phone and email, and actually now we're doing a lot of Zoom meetings. So
yeah. Another question. When you have a new piece to perform, you get the piece in advance, right? Of course. Ok. Eu perguntei para ele como são os ensaios do Carnegie Brass. Eles têm uma agenda fixa de ensaios. Ele falou que geralmente eles ensaiam quando eles têm uma turnê, sempre tem algum dia vago, e eles ensaiam nesse dia vago. Por exemplo, aconteceu na Europa que eles foram chegaram 2 dias antes e eles ensaiaram um repertório novo, algumas músicas novas, porque a maior parte das músicas eles tocam de cor, de memória, mas algumas eles tocam lendo. Então a parte difícil não é só tocar e memorizar, mas eles têm que se acostumar com o teatro, têm que ver o palco como vai ser a movimentação do palco, para onde vai colocar a estante, quem vai introduzir cada música, quem vai apresentar cada música, quem vai falar no microfone, essas coisas. E 2 membros moram em Nova York, um membro mora em Indiana, ele mora no Texas, e um outro membro mora em Toronto, no Canadá. Então, quando de vez em quando eles se encontram em algum desses lugares para ensaiar, principalmente quando eles têm gravação de algum disco ou de algum vídeo promocional, alguma coisa, eles vão para esses lugares para fazer um pré-ensaio e poder fazer esse trabalho da gravação. E quando eles têm música nova, eles recebem as músicas antes e praticam em casa, e depois eles se juntam e tocam. Let me see the other questions. I had to turn off the live stream on my phone.
Oh, really?
My internet it's funny. Eu não estou conseguindo ficar direto aqui na live no telefone, eu estou usando o computador, porque ele está usando o Zoom para fazer a live. Então, eu não estou conseguindo acessar todas as perguntas que vocês estão mandando. Então, a pergunta é legal aqui, se ele troca de material de acordo com o que ele vai tocar. Do you switch equipment according the pieces that you are going to perform? Like maybe you change a mouthpiece or something?
Yeah. You mean mouthpieces or trumpets or both?
Everything.
Yeah, I try to make those decisions with Brandon in a way that really helps the color of the ensemble. It's not as much about ease as it is about color and character. So yeah, sometimes we'll play things on flugelhorn if we think that it would be a nice change to the sound of the group, and it really depends on what you're playing before and after. So yeah, we used to play rotary trumpets on some Brahms and some Renaissance pieces, and we play a lot of flugelhorn. I sometimes will play a smaller mouthpiece on I think the more lead trumpet oriented charts, which that's not my strength, lead trumpet, but we have to do it in the group, so we make it work. Yeah, so I do change based on what's required, but I think it's important that at the very first, the priority should be the music and the color that you're trying to achieve, and then you can decide on what equipment will best get you that color.
Got it. It's more like a group decision.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I think the question is related to the mouthpiece. When you change to a smaller mouthpiece, what size do you change?
Oh, I see. Well, most of the entire concert is the same mouthpiece on B flat trumpet, except for if we ever have to play "Come Together" by the Beatles. It's if you know that arrangement, it's crazy. It's a crazy piece. Chris Dedrick did the arrangement, but just it's obnoxious, this piece. I play a I don't even know what it is actually. It's a Trent Austin mouthpiece, but yeah, I like it. It works pretty well. It's a little too small, but yeah,
ACB mouthpiece, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Ok. Perguntaram aqui se ele muda de material, se ele muda de equipamento de acordo com o que ele vai tocar. Ele falou que muda bastante instrumento, né, de trompete, flugel, piccolo e tal, mas de vocal, às vezes ele muda quando tem que tocar alguma coisa mais de MIDI, que ele falou, não é a especialidade dele, mas tem coisa do repertório que precisa, aí ele tem um vocal que ele não sabe dizer qual que é a medida, é um vocal que o Trent Austin produz, mas é um vocal um pouco menor e um pouco mais sásio, que ajuda ele a tocar repertório, principalmente a música, a música dos Beatles, repertório dos Beatles, que tem coisa bem pesada para tocar. E uma outra coisa que ele falou que é bem legal, que é uma decisão também, uma decisão de grupo. Ele e o Brandon decidem em relação qual material soa melhor em relação à cor do som, a estilo. Não é só uma coisa para deixar mais fácil para tocar, é uma coisa que tem que soar bem. Às vezes pode estar mais fácil para tocar, para executar, mas não está soando com uma cor ou com um som que o grupo está precisando. Another question. I'm looking for the question. What's the mind preparation before the concert?
Oh, okay.
How is the mind preparation?
Oh, good question. Yeah, so it kind of relates to stage presence and also performance anxiety. I think those are great questions. So first of all, I try to put myself in a performance mindset when I'm practicing so that I'm used to it by the time I'm on stage. So a lot of times students, the way they practice will be they approach their solo and they'll play from the top until they make a mistake and then they stop. And then they keep playing that measure until they get it right once and then they move on. And if you think about this, that's a very low batting average, right? And then they expect to play successfully when they're on stage. When in reality, their practicing has nothing to do with that high standard of execution. So the more consistent you can be in your practicing in terms of the way you practice and the standard that you hold yourself to, then the more success you'll have and consistency on stage. And other than that, it's really a matter of just performing as much as possible and taking as many opportunities that you can to perform, even if it's not a very high-profile concert hall. You can create your own opportunities. There's always need in the community to play for others. There's many different venues at churches, at nursing homes, at schools, where your talent can be really inspiring and have an impact on other people in your community. And that's one of the beautiful things about what we do.
Okay, so most of the time is like a preparation, like at home, to get the repertoire under your fingers. You mean? Then,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think it's more of a mindset. I think it's we have all experienced that feeling when we're on stage of doubting ourselves, and I think that part of it is preparation. Yeah, you have to be prepared. You also have to practice the mindset at home so that you're putting
Yeah.
the performance mindset at home. But also, the other important thing is that the more that you make it about you, then the more nervous you will be. The less you make it about you, and the more you make it about connecting with your audience and connecting with your colleagues on stage, whoever you're playing with on stage, then the less the spotlight and the pressure is on you. So I think that's another important thing to mention.
Ok, cool. Eu perguntei para ele como que é a preparação mental antes dos concertos, né? E ele falou que basicamente você tem que, claro, você tem que estar preparado com o repertório, mas isso é uma coisa que já começa em casa. Porque a maioria das pessoas começam a praticar alguma coisa, aí chega naquele compasso, elas erram, e elas praticam até acertar uma vez e mudam para outra coisa. E aí ele disse que isso é uma média muito ruim. Você tem que estar com aquele negócio preparado realmente para você ficar mais livre para tocar. E uma coisa também, quando você está praticando em casa, você já praticar com aquela mentalidade de performance. Uma coisa que ele mencionou que é bem legal é você não se preocupar tanto com você, com o que você vai tocar e como você tem que soar, mas se preocupar mais com a plateia e com os outros membros do grupo para se conectar melhor com as pessoas. Porque fazendo isso você tira a pressão de cima de você e você consegue ficar mais confiante para passar isso para as pessoas. E coincidentemente, você vai acabar tocando melhor e performando bem melhor.
And Bruno,
yeah?
also asked about the mindset before performance, so I should probably answer that a little better. So for me, the central thing in my life is my faith, and so I'm a Christian, and I do my music for me is not about me; it's about glorifying God. So like when I go on stage, I try to reframe everything I'm doing for that reason, and And for me, that also, it helps to take the pressure off me as well, because it's not about me, and I don't have to rely on my performance and the way if I miss a note or not, it doesn't crush me, because that's not where I have my identity. That's not where I have the hope in my life. So on a more personal note, but for me, it's completely related to performance. And so I can't really separate those two things.
Ok. Uma coisa que ele queria adicionar também sobre esse negócio do mindset de preparação para as performances é que ele é em relação à fé dele, que ele é cristão. E uma coisa que ele tenta se preparar e mentalizar na vida dele é que ele não faz as coisas para ele apenas. Ele faz uma coisa com algum propósito a Deus, e fazer uma coisa ao bem de todos. Então, ele sempre tenta fazer isso, e isso, logicamente, acaba tirando também um pouco da pressão em cima dele, porque não fica só em relação a ele, é uma coisa para um bem maior. We have another question here. Before this question, I have a quick question. How old are you now?
I'm 31. Yeah, 31. Almost 32 in, what is today? Oh, in 3 days I'll be 32. So.
Okay. And how old were you when you joined the Carnegie Brass?
It was 2013. Yeah. So how many years ago? 7 years ago. Yeah, 7 years ago.
Okay, so you were 25, I think.
Yeah, 25.
Yeah. Ok. Eu perguntei para ele qual a idade dele. Ele vai fazer 32 anos daqui 2, 3 dias. E ele entrou no Carnegie Brass com 25 anos. Então, bem precoce. We have a question here about that video, the Bach, that you play the partita.
Oh, okay.
How was the preparation for the video?
The preparation. It was, everything was very slow at first, you know. And then just gradually adding the tongue so it's as smooth as possible. And then also trying to, I would separate things into small fragments and then change them and create my own exercises. I really think it's important to create your own exercises. So changing rhythm, changing dynamic, changing articulation, even transposing. So maybe that's too low for some people to start, but you transpose everything up a step. I can't transpose that quickly, but
that's a Vacchiano's thing, right?
Yeah, he made all transpose. Yeah, I think from what I've heard, every lesson was just sight transposition all of the time, and it really developed your ear so well. I mean, obviously, what I just played, I didn't really do so well with that, but I have all of my students transpose, and not just transpose exercises, but transpose their solos that they're working on. So maybe the Honegger Entrada, the high C is just out of reach. So why not take it down a whole step and get a beautiful sound on a high B flat instead of a high C, and then work your way up. For a lot of students, that's too much work. That's too much thinking. So they neglect that. But if you start to transpose everything you play, then your ear will get much, much better. Your accuracy will get much, much better. And you'll also take the strengths in your playing that you have in a specific range, and you can extend that by half step up until you reach your performance transposition. Okay,
but back to the Bach piece.
Yeah.
You started doing slur, and then single tone, and then double tone.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
there are no shortcuts with pieces like that. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, it's hard, especially the the big interval jumps. Well, so there's so many interval jumps, and you can't really get consistency unless you take it very, very slowly and really get it in your ear, but also try to have as much flow connecting the notes as possible.
Got it. Mandaram uma pergunta aqui perguntando como foi a preparação para o vídeo, né, da partida de Bach. E ele falou que no início foi tudo muito lento. Ele começou fazendo tudo ligado, bem lento, como ele demonstrou. Aí depois ele passou para o staccato simples, começou a fazer articulado. Aí só depois ele passou para o staccato duplo. Como ele demonstrou agora também, falou que tem alguns intervalos que são complicados e você só consegue resolver quando você faz bem lento, para você deixar bem sólido. E uma coisa que ele faz também além de tocar mais lento, é fazer a transposição. Uma coisa que ele passa muito para os alunos dele, ele pede para os alunos fazer uma transposição, às vezes meio tom, um tom acima ou abaixo, principalmente, não só em exercícios, mas principalmente em repertório. Então, respondendo a pergunta, como foi a gravação a preparação para a gravação da partita de Bach, ele falou que foi tudo muito lento no início. Ele primeiramente ele fez bem lento ligado, aí depois ele passou para o articulado, e aí quando ele estava com mais segurança ele começou a fazer staccato duplo. E ele também falou que alguns intervalos que são complicados, então tem que fazer bem lento para você ficar bem confiante e deixar o intervalo bem sólido. E vamos ver se eu lembro tudo agora. Uma outra coisa que ele faz é também fazer a transposição, às vezes meio tom acima, meio tom abaixo, um tom acima, um tom abaixo. Ele faz isso com os alunos dele. Ele deu o exemplo da entrada do Moniger, que tem o do agudo, do trompete dó, o ré agudo do si bemol, e às vezes tem aluno que tem problema com a extensão. Ele falou, por que não fazer isso um tom abaixo? E conseguir um som bonito e cheio. Porque às vezes a gente fica focando numa coisa que a gente está com muito problema e aí só traz algo negativo, sendo que a gente pode fazer uma coisa positiva e com isso você acaba movendo para o próximo passo. Eu acho que foi isso. Back to the Bach video.
Okay.
How many takes did it take?
Takes for the Bach video.
Yeah.
One take. No, I'm just joking. Yeah, it took a few. It took a few takes. It's a very.
You recorded the audio first, right?
What's that?
You recorded the audio, the music first, then the video.
Yeah, because if you notice in the video, there are no microphones present.
Yeah. That
would be very, very impressive to have that video without any microphones. But yeah. So actually, it wasn't even me. I had Sergei Nikaryakov perform.
Oh, okay, got
it. Yeah. No, yeah, it took a few, but yeah, I did that project with my brother-in-law. He was the one who did the video, and we had a good time doing that project together. Yeah, but I encourage people to make videos and whatever they're working on, even if you don't put it on YouTube publicly, you can put it there unlisted and send to your family and friends and teachers. It's really fun to just do a project for the sake of doing a project. So whether it's a solo you're working on or a piece that you're writing or something you're doing with your chamber ensemble, your brass quintet maybe, or whatever you're doing, just try to be creative and try to have a goal in mind. I think sometimes students, if they don't have a goal for themselves, then they don't progress as quickly as they could. So it can be an audition, it can be a music festival, it can be a video or a recording or a recital. And for me, whenever I have something on the horizon to work toward, then my playing always gets better, quicker that way. So even now at home, even though I'm at home all day, I'm doing, I think, 4 different projects, recording projects with friends. So like the video I did with Mark Gould and Brandon Ridenauer and Chris Coletti, and I'm doing another piece for flugelhorn and vibraphone, and another piece for trumpet and trombone, and then another piece for that I arranged for 6 trumpets. So all of those things are going to be recorded soon, hopefully. Cross my fingers. But it's really fun to have a project. Always have a project that you're working on.
Ok. Perguntaram quantos takes foi necessário para gravar a partida de baile. Ele falou que foram alguns takes. Foi necessário fazer alguns takes, mas uma coisa que ele ressaltou é bem importante ter um projeto em mente e realizar esse projeto. Ele falou que às vezes ele percebe que alguns alunos não têm um projeto, assim, um objetivo, e seja uma música, um solo, um festival de música, algo do tipo. Ele falou que quando você tem um objetivo, você consegue melhorar e avançar para os próximos passos de forma mais rápida. Ele falou que esse vídeo foi feito junto com o cunhado dele fez os vídeos, né, a parte visual, e falou que isso pode ser uma forma, um projeto para você mandar para a família, para os amigos, coisa do tipo. A ideia é ter um projeto, fazer um projeto para ter um projeto, fazer algo, criar algo novo. Sure, 3 more questions, and I think we will be done.
Okay.
Who were your teachers?
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, my teachers are so important to me, and maybe the most influential teacher I've ever had was my very first teacher in Kentucky, in Lexington, Kentucky, Richard Byrd. And great trumpet player, great composer and arranger. But he was my very first teacher, and he gave me really great structure to my practicing, and he made sure that I really.
Did he teach at EKU?
Yeah, he actually teaches music theory there. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, he was there when I was studying there.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's such a great person and really caring and very connected to his students. But he, number one, great structure, and he made sure that I was doing everything that I needed to be doing, and a big emphasis on ear training. So he made me play a lot of things by ear instead of just reading music all the time. So all of my scales and my mode and scale patterns were learned by ear and not looking at music. He would give me assignments, just ear training assignments every week. But the most important thing that I think I got from him was that he gave me 2 or 3 CDs every week. And he had a big collection of CDs. Mostly trumpet CDs, but also orchestral CDs, jazz CDs as well. And usually he would give me 1 solo CD and then 1 orchestral CD, or 1 solo CD and 1 jazz CD. And every week I would listen to it so many times. And at the end of the week, I think I had the entire album memorized, both albums, because I love that so much, and it opened my ears to a lot of new styles and interpretations, and it also helped kind of ignite fire for my dreams, which was really, really important to me. So, and then after that, I went to Interlochen Arts Academy for 2 years, which is.
Let me translate this part. Perguntei para ele quem foram os professores dele. Falou que o primeiro professor dele foi um cara do Kentucky, de Lexington, Kentucky. O nome dele é Rich Byrd. E é até engraçado porque eu estudei no Kentucky, numa universidade, e o Rich Bird era professor de teoria musical lá. Então eu cheguei a conhecê-lo. Mas voltando à relação dele com o Caleb, ele falou que foi muito importante, foi o cara que colocou ele na linha, fez ele estudar direito. Ele falou que ele era um ótimo instrutor, dava instruções muito boas, principalmente fez ele treinar muito a audição dele. Falou que o treinamento auditivo dele foi muito intenso e foi uma coisa muito boa. Uma outra coisa foi que o Richard Bird dava para ele 3 CDs pelo menos por semana. Então ele ouvia esses 3 discos novos por semana, que o cara tem uma coleção enorme de CDs e emprestava os CDs para ele poder ouvir coisa nova. Então ele teve uma grande bagagem auditiva desde muito cedo. Então ele foi um cara que conseguiu trazer essa parte musical e criativa para ele. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, and then after that was Interlochen Arts Academy for 2 years with Ken Larson. And then I was at Juilliard with Ray Mace for 3 years. And Ray Mace was one of my musical heroes. He was one of the CDs that I listened to growing up. And his sound, if your listeners don't know any of Ray Mace's solo CDs, I encourage them to go listen to them. Especially Trumpet in Our Time and Trumpet Vocalese. Those 2 albums are really beautiful. And then Mark Gould, which we had a live chat with yesterday on the Canadian Brass Facebook page for 2 hours. We talked about a lot of stuff. So Mark Gould was my teacher for 3 years as well. So, and then I studied Baroque trumpet as well with John Thiessen, and that was very important as well.
Ok. Depois o Richard Bird, ele foi estudar na Interlochen, que é um festival de música, e ele teve aula com o Ken Larson. E depois disso ele foi para Juilliard School. Ele estudou com o Raymond Mace e falou que também foi muito importante, assim, desde com o Raymond Mace. Falou que, para quem não conhece, ele procure os discos dele. Ele indica 2 discos. Um dele é o Trumpet Vocalist, que é um disco sensacional. E depois ele estudou 3 anos com o Mark Gould. Ontem eles fizeram uma live de 2 horas na página do Carnegie Brass, os trompetistas do Carnegie Brass, junto com o Mark Gould. Eles fizeram, foi uma coisa muito importante. E depois disso ele estudou trompete barroco com John Thiessen, Baroque Trumpet, John Thiessen.
Exactly, John Thiessen, yes.
Depois ele estudou trompete barroco com o John Thiessen, que ele considera que foi muito importante para ele também na vida dele musical. Só tenho mais 2 perguntas, hein? A gente vai terminar logo.
I was seeing if I could remember it. I don't remember all, but there's some of it. That's part of the Bach.
Okay, and what do you think would be, how is the lifestyle a soloist should have?
Oh, okay. The lifestyle of a soloist?
Yeah, like you.
Oh, well, I don't know if I would call myself a soloist, but it's not like I go around playing a bunch of solo concertos like Sergei or Tina Thing-Helseth. But I guess in a brass quintet, we are, all 5 of us, we are soloists. But
Yeah.
It's also what we create together is more important than any one person in particular in the ensemble. So part of that lifestyle is learning to place others above yourself, because in any ensemble, your job is to serve the ensemble and to serve each other. And I think that attitude of service is something that's so important to musicians. Oftentimes, when musicians or artists, we make everything about ourselves. Look at me. Look what I can do, and we forget that the whole point of music is to connect with people and to serve other people. So I think that's so important in what we do. But you're asking specifically about what, the traveling or?
Uh, he just said the lifestyle. I mean, everything. Especially when you are on tour.
Oh, okay.
If you have to take care of anything special, maybe food or your exercise every day, or how do you keep your chops in shape?
Okay, great. Yeah, that's a lot. I'll try to be as quick as I can about that. So
Okay.
it is. I would say the main word is balance. I think balance is so important in a lifestyle like this where you travel so much, and maintaining priorities in your life so that it's easy to be distracted. So for me, I have my priorities, my faith, my family, and then music, and for me, performing and teaching are on the same level. So I think that performing and teaching are both helpful to each other. Um, and I love teaching, and I love seeing, I love being part of the process of helping a student to grow and to reach their potential. So I think that's really important. But on the road, yeah, I try to exercise as much as possible. I'm not really great at being very consistent with that, and I try to eat as healthy as I can. Um, Usually, we're pretty good as a group at eating healthy, so that we're not eating fast food. um, and there are certain brass ensembles in the world that party every night after their concerts, and we're not one of those groups. Um, we I guess yeah, we like to sleep a little more than that. So yeah, we like to hang out together, and we have a good time, and we get along pretty well on the road. I mean, there's always going to be occasions where people have different opinions, or we're just together on the road for 3 weeks at a time, and by the end of those 3 weeks, things start to bother you. Just like any relationship would. But overall, I think we have a very good relationship in our ensemble, and we all want to see each other succeed, and we all want the best for each other. So that's really important in anything you're doing, to try to see how you can help others and how you can serve other people. And the more that you can think that way, actually, you'll see that start to be fruitful in your own progress and in your own playing as well.
Ok. Perguntaram para ele como que é o estilo de vida de um solista. Ele falou que ele não se considera um solista, porque ele não vive viajando por aí tocando solos, mas o Carnegie Brass todos são solistas, então todos têm algum momento de solo. E ele focou bastante a resposta dele nos momentos de turnê. Quando eles estão na turnê, ele falou que o grupo procura comer coisas mais saudáveis, coisas não são de comer muita porcaria. E falou que alguns grupos, depois dos concertos, gostam de festejar e tal. Falou que eles não são desse tipo de grupo. Eles acabam indo dormir e tal, não são muito festeiros. E falou que dentro do grupo é como se fosse uma relação. Tem aqueles momentos que tem algum problema e tal, mas geralmente eles se dão muito bem, principalmente na época de turnê e tal. Outra coisa que ele tenta fazer é se exercitar um pouco durante a turnê, porque ele não é muito consistente nisso no dia a dia, mas ele tenta fazer alguma coisa e tal, para não cair numa rotina ruim. Vou perguntar agora para ele como que ele mantém a embocadura dele durante a turnê, porque nem sempre eles estão tocando todos os dias. And how do you keep your chops during a tour? Because probably you don't have concerts every day.
It kind of depends. So our busiest part of the year is December, and usually from November 28 until December 23 or 24. We have concerts almost every day. Almost. It's very, very busy. And there's a lot of traveling. So um, a couple of years ago, we had a concert in New York, and then the next day a concert in LA, and then the next day a concert in Philadelphia. So um, it can be very, very tiresome, both physically and also for the chops. So I think back again to consistency, um, getting a routine in, but also learning how to get to your peak performance potential in the least amount of time possible. Because when I have a concert, I'm not going to practice for 2 hours before the concert. Just half an hour, and then I'm ready to go. Sometimes 20 minutes, and that's it, and then I'm ready to go.
You do that before the performance, or like in the morning, or another time?
Personally, I don't know if this is a preference or it's just I'm forced to do it this way. But usually we wake up and we get on a plane at 5 in the morning or 6 in the morning, and then my warm up happens, about an hour and a half before the concert. So that's usually the way it works. But also, great when you don't feel great, and instead of trying to achieve the best possible performance all the time, you have to learn how to be the best that you can be in any circumstance. So you can't always your circumstance. You can't always change how tired your embouchure is or how swollen your lips are. You can't always change the hall, how dead the hall is. If you play in a very dead concert hall, then that can be very frustrating, right? But you can't change that. All you can do is try to play your best in whatever circumstance you're in. And the more you train yourself to do that, and to kind of disregard the circumstances, the better your performance will be.
Ok. E dando sequência na pergunta sobre o estilo de vida durante a turnê no Carnegie Brass, falou que de 28 de novembro até dia 23 de dezembro eles tocam praticamente quase todos os dias. Falou, e acontece deles terem um concerto em Los Angeles, no dia seguinte em Nova York, e no outro dia eles vão para, sei lá, Filadélfia, são lugares longes um do outro. Então é uma coisa bem cansativa, muita viagem, muito aeroporto. Falou que acontece bastante, eles têm as voos, sei lá, 4, 5 da manhã, 6 da manhã, e pessoalmente o que ele faz, ele falou, não dá para estudar 2 horas no dia e depois ir tocar o concerto, porque é muito pesado. Então o que ele faz isso é uma coisa que ele faz. 1 hora e meia antes do concerto ele faz algum aquecimento que dura aí meia hora no máximo. E uma coisa que também é importante é você tentar fazer o máximo que você conseguir, tocar o máximo que você conseguir, não importa se você está cansado, se o seu lábio está inchado, se o local que você vai tocar é muito seco, porque isso é muito frustrante para o grupo que você vai tocar um local muito seco. Você tem que render o máximo que você pode. Isso você vai ficando mais calejado, você vai se habituando mais à medida que você vai entrando nessas situações. Quanto mais você fizer, mais passar por isso, mais você vai conseguir se sair melhor. Então, acho que a gente vai terminar por aqui. Já tem bastante tempo, já passou mais de 1 hora de live. Yeah, I think we are good for tonight.
Okay.
And
what time is
it? 6:30.
6:30. Are you in Rio?
Yeah, no, in São Paulo. Yeah, we are, I think, 2 hours ahead of you.
Okay, great. Yeah, it's perfect.
And yeah, they are asking if you could play something just to finish.
Okay. I mean, I heard you say Penny Lane a little while ago, so
Yeah, some people are asking Penny Lane.
I'll play a little Penny Lane, I guess.
Okay.
Okay. It's better with the quintet.
Oh, that was great. Então a gente vai terminar por aqui a live. Já tem bastante tempo. Essa foi a última live aí desse projeto aí que a gente tem feito. Provavelmente no futuro aí, no futuro próximo, a gente vai fazer mais algumas. Talvez não com essa intensidade como foi essa. Mas a gente quer agradecer o Kelly pelo tempo dele e por ter passado esse tempo todo aqui com a gente. So, Kelly, we want to thank you for your time with us to spend your afternoon and teaching us and sharing your knowledge.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And thank you for everyone who tuned in to watch. And just, I hope you know that Canadian Brass, we love Brazil, and we know that there are many people in Brazil watching what we do on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. So we hope to visit you in person very soon. And I hope that maybe you took away something here today that was useful and that helps you in your trumpet playing.
Ele gostou muito, ele agradece todo mundo que assistiu, fez pergunta, participou. E ele falou que espera que o Canadian Brass possa vir aqui para o Brasil em breve e tocar para a gente, assim, porque ele acha que as pessoas vão gostar e eles vão ficar muito felizes. E espera que essa entrevista, essa live que a gente fez aqui ajude as pessoas de alguma forma. Yeah, I think we're good, man. Thank you.
Well, thanks so much. Thanks for putting this together.
Yeah, thank you. You are in charge of the command of the live stream.
Well, stay safe, and I hope everyone stays healthy. And
okay, thank you.
Thanks. Bye.